Barbara Buzzard. On behalf of Restoration Fellowship, we would like to introduce you to Marvin Isles, the Australian who is the managing director of the Australian Christian Lobby. He also is the presenter of a news program called The Truth of It. And by the way, this will give you an opportunity to practice your Australian comprehension. And he speaks fast, so you will have to listen fast. This video, this link, is about one of the most important ethical issues of our day, that of abortion. Many people find it controversial and difficult, but we think as a Christian it is neither. Please don't turn away. He only presents the facts. And remember that one of the greatest gifts you could be given is that of seeing yourself as others see you. So this is a look at how an Australian Christian views us. We have to be informed as Christians, otherwise we cannot make Christ-like decisions, and we're supposed to walk in Jesus' footsteps. And yet, it seems that the silence from both pastors and churches is deafening. You will hear him speak about the darkness of this. In fact, he refers to it as a dark vortex of purest satanic wickedness. And this is confirmed by a doctor, the doctor who originally persuaded the Roe v. Wade world and the judges at that time to legalize abortion. He later bitterly repented, wrote and spoke about it, and produced a film. There are 4 scriptures which speak of one who justifies the wicked being equally guilty and even an abomination. So silence is justification. Please consider these words, please be horrified, and please act on the truth of it. Thank you.
And I introduced you to a guy called David Daleiden and his organisation, the Centre for Medical Progress, and the fact that they are currently involved in a court case in San Francisco in which the Attorney General of California is criminally charging them with a whole range of offences. The background is this. In 2016, David and his colleagues went undercover. They posed as buyers from the biotech industry, and they met with Planned Parenthood clinic directors and senior executives. Now, and they entered into, these guys, through going undercover, a very dark world, which many people never knew existed, but which is very, very real. And it's the world of buying body parts of dead babies. $750 for an intact brain, $350 for an intact liver. A little bit more, you can get a baby's head. A little bit more, you can get a baby's heart that's still beating. A little bit more, you can get an intact fetus. I'm not kidding. This is all very real. They went undercover to prove it. They filmed the whole thing. The videos were released over a period of time in 2016. They're horrifying, nearly impossible to watch from start to finish. And Daleiden and his colleagues exposed a widespread illegal trade in baby body parts to the public. But for their efforts, they now face this criminal trial in the state of California. The Attorney General is charging them with fraud, breach of contract, civil conspiracy, and for the first time ever, the Attorney General has brought a charge against them, unlawful recording of conversations. And meanwhile, Planned Parenthood continues to kill babies and cut up their dead bodies with impunity. Nothing has happened to them, despite the fact that they're doing this horrible thing. It's the good guys, it's the protagonists in our story that are facing criminal trial. And last time I mentioned that some of the realities, that were coming out in court. For example, the CEO and procurement manager of a biotech company called ABR swore under oath that they, 1, receive intact fetuses from abortions for organ harvesting, 2, discuss pricing of fetal tissue at the National Abortion Federation, which is the National Association of Abortionists, and 3, are partnered with Planned Parenthood. Now, further witness testimony has come out, and I want to say this. The trial's closed, and these guys have been found guilty. As in, the good guys have been found guilty of the charges brought against them. That's where we stand. If you want to understand the state of morality in our justice systems in the West at the moment and where it's all headed, I tell you what, not good. Really not good. He's been found guilty. But in the subsequent witness testimony, there's more details that have come to light. And I want to point these out because I want to make a point about this. Last time I made a different point about good and evil. This time I want to make a point as well. But it says here, I want to hone in on the testimony of an OBGYN a very experienced abortionist, Dr. Forrest Smith, and he testified that the undercover videos taken by the Centre for Medical Progress, that is David Daleiden, are all true. They're all accurate reflections of what goes on. And further, Smith testified that it is almost certain that some of the abortionists featured in the undercover videos deliberately altered abortion procedures in a way that both led to the birth of living babies with beating hearts and put women at risk. The goal in these cases would be to obtain fresher, more intact organs. In fact, Planned Parenthood abortionists are delivering babies alive and dissecting them alive in order to harvest their hearts. Here's the explanation offered by one source. It says, there is a video of Planned Parenthood employee Alyssa Goldberg advocating for Planned Parenthood's method of high-dose misoprostol for abortions. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And then secondly, in small doses, misoprostol softens the cervix, mimics the start of natural labour, and in large doses, it brings on full labour, causing tumultuous uterine contractions and fetal expulsion. Abortionist Forrest Smith, who has done over, wait for this, 50,000 abortions, said that this method is likely to result in live births. Smith testified that very few people in abortion outside Planned Parenthood do that. So here you have large doses of misoprostol, live births in the abortion procedure. This is what the abortionist is saying. To avoid breaking partial birth laws, compliant abortionists cause fetal heart attacks by injecting digoxin directly into the baby's heart. But Planned Parenthood wants to sell the heart, which can't be done with digoxin in it, with anaesthetic in the body, or with an interruption in the heartbeat. It must be harvested beating. This is a reality. You've got beating hearts available for sale on the price lists of these biotech companies. The question being asked here is, how do we achieve that then, since all the procedures that are legal in abortion are going to stop the heart from beating? No. What's the conclusion? Planned Parenthood abortionists are delivering babies alive using an amount of misoprostol that's dangerous to the mother and cutting out their beating hearts with no pain relief. What's the point? Well, apart from apologising for having to go into that detail, but we need to know because sickening reality of evil often presents itself with an attractive exterior. This is purely satanic. Purely satanic. But we go from rights, choice, health care, women's empowerment, to an abortionist who's killed 50,000 babies and their scalpels cutting out live beating hearts as part of the same enterprise. You know, it's been like that since the beginning. What was it? The fruit in the garden. Looked at it, it was pleasing to the eye, it was good for food. What a beautiful, delicious piece of fruit. Looks great. It's all harmless. I mean, just look at it. What harm could be done with this thing? Eat it. Look at the wickedness that's come in the wake of the fall. It's been that way ever since. And you know, we toy with evil and we are numb to it and we're not as sensitive to it as we should be because we always see that extractive, almost PR effort on the exterior to make itself delightful and enticing. Tell you what, this isn't healthcare. Tell you what, this isn't rights, this isn't empowerment. This is dark vortex of purest satanic wickedness. Is this happening in Australia? People I speak to who have some knowledge of this say almost certainly yes, it is happening in Australia. It seems to be part and parcel of large sections of the abortion industry. And this is why we can never forget that abortion is as bad as it is and why we must always fight to end it.